Hello, I'm Brett Knowles from the Balanced Scorecard Network. I'd like to give you this quick YouTube on how your organization can build a balanced scorecard in just 5 days. Now, I know this sounds like a remarkable promise, so before I get into the detail, I want to give you a quick overview of our credentials to make such a claim. We have done probably 2,000 or 3,000 scorecards in every sector across the world. My personal background began with working with Drs Kaplan and Norton in the late 1980s and early 90s, and I was recently a vice president at the Balanced Scorecard Collaborative working with them. Over the last 10 years, every single book they've written cites our clients as best case examples of how to build balanced scorecards, as do most of the other seminal books on performance measurement and management. In addition to that, 4 of our clients have gone on to win the prestigious Balanced Scorecard Hall of Fame. All of these organizations used our award-winning 5-day rapid scorecard process to develop their scorecard. I'll go into more detail of each of the steps in subsequent YouTubes, but the 5 steps are as follows. First, you need to work with your leadership team to build a strategy map. Identify what are the core strategic objectives in your organization, what's their cause and effect relationship, and of course their priority or overall weighting. Typically, that should take the leadership team about 5 hours based on the existing strategy document and thinking within the organization. The second day, we should be able to harvest existing data within the organization to become performance indicators behind each one of those strategic objectives. Now, by the end of the second day, in fact, you have built what you would normally think of as your balanced scorecard. The strategic objectives, the cause and effect relationship as shown by the arrows, and the overall performance indicators. Whether you're doing this in an application such as Cognos or Actuate, or doing it on a spreadsheet. At the end of the second day, we should be able to produce a fully functioning scorecard. But it turns out that is necessary but not sufficient. In order for us to be successful at strategy execution, we have to translate that to action. So on the third day, we're going to take your core processes and understand their impact and performance against each of those core strategic objectives. In this way, we should be able to identify which of your strategic objectives are likely to be successful and which ones are at risk because the processes are not providing the level of support that they require. In fact, we should be able to identify what is the strategic performance gap in your organization, and from there, analyze your existing portfolio of projects to see what their gap closing potential is. So in this way, on day 3, Wednesday, we're able to translate strategy into action, setting us up for day 4 when we can begin to build the management processes that your leadership team needs to execute strategic management as opposed to tactical management. Included in day 4 are not only the procedures and the steps and the governance model, but also what are the next steps to make your scorecard more substantial. And then finally, perhaps the most important step, we need to launch it. We need to actually turn on that scorecard and begin using it. Because it turns out you can only make your scorecard better by actually using it as opposed to sitting in a room and hypothesizing about what a better scorecard might look like. Again, these 5 steps, each of which will be revealed in a subsequent YouTube in a little bit more detail. Or, of course, you can go to our site, thebalancedScorecard.net, and under the Insights page, there are 200 or 300 webinars that provide you with way more detail on each one of these steps and the underlying thinking that goes into them. Thank you for your time, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.